The man has worked on Earth for 800 years, scraping by on a meager salary. His job is to handle all kinds of strange monsters on Earth, but no one knows who he really is. He's been doing this tedious work for 800 years, enduring loneliness, because if he ever stops, he'll die. This is a peculiar world where different races live together in harmony. Yoon walks into a psychiatric hospital and explains his problem to the doctor. He doesn't want to work anymore. Is there a way to survive without working? The doctor has seen too many patients like him and tells him he's just exhausted, suggesting he get out more whenever he has the chance. Yeonjoo's eyes are devoid of light, repeating the same work over and over. Can this really be the right way to live? You're mentally exhausted. A person's energy is like a rubber band. If you stretch it too long, it loses its bounce. You need to let your mind go blank. Stop thinking about work. But it seems that's impossible for you. So here's your medication. Take it the same way as before. Yeonjoo stares at the pill box and asks quietly, "How long will this last me?" Your next follow-up is in 23 years, so naturally, that's 23 years worth of pills. Yeonjoo stands up from the chair with effort, thanking the doctor. The doctor purrs Yeonjoo's words, "A way to survive without working. Unfortunately, there's no such thing. The moment you stop working, you die." Yeonjoo leaves the hospital and gazes at the playful crowd in front of him, his taut nerves relaxing for a moment. Before long, his phone rings. On the other end, a calm voice says, "There's a bank robbery. Go take care of it." After discussing his payment, Yeonjoo vanishes on the spot. The scene shifts to the police, maintaining order at the scene. Yeonjoo steps out from the crowd and greets the orc in front of him. Park Yumpel tells him there's only one criminal inside, but there are 4 hostages in the bank. Only one is conscious. The rest have fainted. "All right, I understand. From here on, I'll take over." Park Yumpy is a little curious. Why did Minjun Haeun come? Are the people inside the bank those guys? YM Jun surveys the area, pulls out a talisman and tosses it into the sky. The next moment, the building is wrapped in a blue force field. Yeonjoo tells him to evacuate the crowd, then heads inside himself. Park Yumpel informs his colleagues. "The Immigration Bureau is in charge of this case now. Please evacuate all citizens. Isn't the Immigration Bureau for dealing with illegal immigrants? Why are they handling this case? Don't you know the difference between immigrants and the Immigration Bureau? What did you learn in school?" Hearing this, the man is a bit embarrassed. Like you said, the Immigration Bureau handles foreigner complaints, but as a contract agent for the Bureau, you have to deal with special groups. Those special populations are tough to handle. So the criminal in the bank is, that's right, just as you think. At this moment, Yeonjoo is checking the criminal's information. Noku, 31, unemployed, awakened last year, and registered as an ability user. He tried to use this to apply for a security company job, but was rejected. His ability is telepathy. Suddenly, a chair comes hurtling straight at Yeonjoo, but he dodges it with just a slight tilt of his head. He sees a criminal grabbing a hostage by the hair. "Was it you who made the police pull back?" "Before I answer your question, let the hostage go. I can promise you this. If you let the hostage go, I won't kill you. But if you hurt the hostage, I can't guarantee I'll hold back." The criminal laughs maniacally, clutching his face. "Shut up! Do as I say or this person will definitely die here." Yeonjoo seems not to hear. "Let the hostage go. Damn you, shut up! Do you think I'm joking? Just because I'm unemployed, you can treat me like trash. I thought awakening would get me a job. Do you know how I feel? Is my life worthless? No, that's not it. Now I remember. When I went to collect unemployment benefits, some old lady touched my shoulder. When I came to, I was here. What on earth happened in between?" At that moment, the old person being held hostage suddenly wakes up. "Not bad. Looks like you recognized me." The man looks at her in terror, instinctively pulling his hand away. But suddenly, several strands of green slime appear on the old woman's neck, sticking to his hand. The man is so frightened by this that he collapses to the ground. "The Immigration Bureau's nose is quite sharp, isn't it? You think I'm an idiot? Didn't expect you to really break my illusion. I thought you were just rambling, but your words actually contained a spell." The old woman glances at the man cowering on the ground, and in the next instant, a black, ghostly shadow appears before his eyes. The man is so startled by the sudden attack that his mind shatters, begging for mercy over and over. The green slime is frantically draining the man's life force. Yeonjoo straightens his slaves. The opponent is a criminal from the planet Odin's, real name Daphne, wanted for 64 murders on Earth, and that's just what she's done here. "You ret, I've already given you your last chance. Since you've wasted your shot at living, don't blame me for not letting you walk away. Feel my wrath." As blood slowly trickles from his palm in an instant, a crimson, terrifying pressure explodes around Emon. The opponent recognizes it as black magic. Black magic has a fatal flaw. The user must burn through their own life force as the price, and it never recovers. How much life force could a human possibly have? But I have a walking blood bank. As long as I drag this fight out, I'll definitely be the one left standing. Countless blades shoot toward Yeonjoo in a split second. But the next moment, a giant hand smashes all the attacks to pieces. Then a huge shadow appears behind Yeonjoo. The old woman can't help cursing inwardly. How can a human use such powerful black magic? How much life force has he sacrificed? Who on earth are you? Who am I? I don't even know myself. Who are you? How can you wield such powerful black magic? Enough talking. You who are steeped in sin, prepare for judgment. I may not know your goal, but I'm not going down without a fight. Suddenly, a scarlet faceless mask comes lunging at her. In an instant, the old woman who had been standing is torn to shreds. The giant's roar shakes the whole building. Yeonjoo slowly steps out from the pile of remains. Don't kill me. If you let me go, I'll tell you a secret. Yeonjoo is intrigued by this. Do you know why so many criminals are swarming to Earth? It's because the world's top prophet foresaw something. During his escape, the most notorious criminal in history accidentally arrived on Earth, and he dropped a soul fragment here. I have a recording and it contains the approximate location of the soul fragment. If this recording gets out, even more criminals will flood to Earth. If you promise to let me go, I'll give you the recording. But Yeonjoo finds the other party a little annoying. I don't need what you're offering. If Yeonjoo ever tried to sell that recording, he would be wanted himself. It's not worth it for him. The old woman suddenly notices Yeonjoo's wounds healing. Why, as a black magician, is he able to heal after sacrificing his own life force? You can't possibly be human. What are you? Yeonjoo stares at her silently. The next moment, she disappears from this world for good. At this moment, Yeonjoo is recalling how many criminals he's dealt with on Earth. He's long since grown sick of this job, but he has no choice but to keep doing it. The hostages just fainted. There's nothing left for me here. Meanwhile, the blue force field outside the building is fading, and Y-Mining Jun steps out. Is it over, Minjun? Hyang, I'm leaving the cleanup to you guys. The hostages inside are all alive. I'm off. When you get back, let's grab a drink. Yeonjoo has just walked away when his phone rings again. He opens it to see a payment notification. The transfer came through as fast as always. Yeonjoo then hails a taxi heading for Sangrao bookstore. In this world, everyone knows Yeonjoo's public profile. He's the legendary agent of the Immigration Bureau with a 99% case closure rate, but few know his other identity. He's actually an outsider himself. Long ago, Yeonjoo was also a criminal. He wasn't killed on the spot, but became their captive. His memory and body were taken away, and he was sentenced to forced labor. The society's most troublesome problems are all handed to those with erased memories. For them, work is prison. Quitting means death. Every time they finish a job, they're paid in a universal currency called talent. Yeonjoo has worked for 800 years and still needs to pay off $5 million to be free. If he can't pay the interest, death is all that awaits him. This last mission netted him just over a 000. And for a criminal, making money is hellishly hard. I've long grown tired of this job. Now I just want to earn that $5 million as quickly as possible. The missions in the task list are mostly low-paying jobs. At that moment, Yeonjoo's pupils deeded as a job with a $7 million reward appeared before his eyes. This task brought back the old man's words to him. If I can complete this job, then I can finally leave this damn place. Meanwhile, Park Yumpili was being chewed out by his boss, who thrust a dossier at him. This is a case for your division too. I don't care how you do it. Just get to the bottom of it. Otherwise, you can imagine the consequences yourself. Park Yumpil had no choice but to accept, the work already piling up in his hands. The scene shifts, and Yeonjoo is back at his office. Kathy, Yeonjoo's assistant, has been waiting for a long time. Kathy walks over with some documents. I was going to ask the Immigration Bureau to delay this case since I wasn't sure if you take it. Yeonjoo picks up the file and flips through it. Is this a missing person case? Yes. The missing person is Jang Tae-jun, CEO of the Hyosung Group. His net assets are at least $30 billion, but he disappeared last week. The Bureau suspects he might be an alien without a residency permit. Even if they can't catch him, they need evidence that he's not human, or the state can't reclaim his company's shares and he has no direct relatives. The Bureau says he left a will, but they haven't found it yet. So they're trying to intercept that will in advance. Suddenly, Yeonjoo gives Kathy a light flick, letting her know she's standing too close. If the Bureau is leaving a trivial missing person case to me, the state must really care about those stocks. Maybe I can use this opportunity to pay off some of my debt. I'm heading out to work. Remember to lock up when you leave. This guy really is a bona fide workaholic. Yeonjoo then heads next door to the Sangrao bookstore. Yeonjoo notices the cactus he'd nearly killed is somehow still alive. Elves really are impressive, huh? Please stop taking care of plants. You almost managed to kill a cactus. Yi Min-jun looks a little embarrassed, promising to be more careful in the future. So, what brings you here? It's nothing urgent. I mainly wanted to ask you to help me find someone. All right, bring me the info and I'll take a look. Lakefield closes his eyes and silently recites an incantation. The next moment, a cluster of water droplets appears before Lakefield's eyes, gradually morphing into an elemental spirit. It's said that when summoned, elemental spirits take on the appearance of the person the summoner misses most. Please help me find the person in this file. With that, the elemental spirit transforms into a flash of light and vanishes. Shortly after, Lakefield receives a message. What do you want with this person? Yeonjoo is thrown for a moment. I'll need to interrogate him about some things. That's rather unfortunate because he's already dead. Was he human? Lakefield isn't sure. You'll probably have to investigate that yourself. The scene shifts to Jang Tae-jun hanging from a tree branch. Yeonjoo examines the corpse and senses this case will be tricky. He calls Kathy. There was only a letter about the will on Jang Tae-jun's body. No other clues. The Bureau still doesn't have the will, do they? Right. Rumor has it the will is in the main vault at the bank. If that's the case, then we'll have to check out Jang Tae-jun's home. The scene chefs Team and Jun at Jang Tae-jun's front door only to run into Park Yumpel. Turns out they're both investigating the same case. The agent hands over the keys and leaves. Yeonjoo considers giving an update, but Park Yumpel says there's no need. They'll just have me assist you anyway. This wasn't originally Park Yumpel's case, but recently a batch of elves went missing. So the team in charge was reassigned to the Special Investigations Unit, leaving these missing person cases to Park Yumpel and others. Our captain figured he couldn't handle it either, so he handed it to the Immigration Bureau and sent me over to help. Yeonjoo replies, "Good thing it's you. I'd have no chemistry with anyone else." The two head into Jang Tae-jun's room and start searching for clues. Park Yumpel sits at the computer copying files. Once he's done, he tells Yeonjoo, "I'll sort these and send them to you tomorrow." Yeonjoo thanks him. Just then, a strange noise catches their attention. They follow the sound to the kitchen and are surprised to find it's coming from a frying pan. When Yeonjoo touches the pan, it makes another strange noise, leaving both men a little awkward. Sensing things are off, the pan quickly introduces itself. "I'm an AI cooking tool. I can copy some aspects of human consciousness and memory. This kind of AI is highly self-aware and not easy to get on Earth. There's a good chance Jang Tae-jun was actually an alien." Yeonjoo asks the pan his question. "Tell me what you know about Jang Tae-jun. My owner seemed perfectly ordinary. The last time I saw him was in the early hours a week ago. That night, I saw him go out late. The next day, I heard something in the living room. I thought the boss was back, so I didn't care." Yi Min-jun picks up on something. "So, you're saying someone was searching for something here? Anyone been by recently?" Park Yumpel tells him, "No, today's the first time anyone's opened the door." The pan continues, "I'm sure it wasn't my boss. Someone was rummaging around at night but hasn't shown up for days. Probably gave up. Sadly, I never saw his face, but judging by his build, he was human." Yi Min-jun starts piecing things together. If he could come and go without opening the door, he must have used distortion magic. In that case, I need to search for traces of magic use. In an instant, the entire room turns gray. Parkle, curious, asks what this power is. There's something called the spirit realm layered over the material world. Magic leaves traces in the spirit realm. If we find those traces, we can track down our guy. Yeonjoo follows the trail for a while, finally pinpointing the place where magic was used. There are 10 light trails in the room, meaning he came and went 5 times. If we follow these traces, we'll find out where he is. Might as well take the frying pan. It's our only piece of evidence. The two get in the car and follow the trail. Yoon tells Park Yumpel, "Don't make a move unless I say so." They chat for a while as they drive until Yeonjoo spots another trace of magic and tells Park Yumpel to pull over. There are tons of magical traces around here. Looks like we'll find him soon. Park Yumpel gets out and surveys the area. Turns out it's an orc neighborhood. Yeonjoo says that's to be expected. If he's commuting every day, he'll need a temporary spot, and this fits perfectly. Good thing he didn't erase the traces. We can check the local security cameras. This is your job since you'll have more luck talking to these folks. Before long, Park Yumpile reports back to Yeonjoo, telling him there aren't any cameras here. You know how orcs are. Yun knows this is a sore spot, so drops it and says, if there's no surveillance, we'll have to investigate the old-fashioned way. Who'd have thought a 21st century black magician like me would end up doing legwork? Park Yumpile leads Yeonjoo to a bar to look for clues. Park Yumpile shows the bartender a photo. He's human, always goes out at night, and dresses like a mage. The orc bartender studies the photo for a long time, then says he make a call and tells them to sit tight. Yeonjoo is curious why Park Yumpile wants to talk to a bartender. Park Yumpile explains if he can't find the guy here, then the guy isn't here at all. Soon, the orc tells them the person in the photo was seen at Building 3. You can check there. The two ask passers-by for directions to Building 3 and quickly make their way there. Yeonjoo casts a spell and detects heavy traces of magic use somewhere in Building 3. Didn't expect the other side would set up a barrier at the door. Without hesitation, Yeonjoo begins to break the barrier. At that moment, he senses a magical disturbance and immediately signals Park Yumpile to step back. They've realized we're here. The instant the barrier is undone, a surge of black magic bursts forth. As the smoke clears, there's no sign of Yeonjoo or Park Yumpile. A second later, the two walk out unharmed. They spot a man trying to tear open space and escape. He's sneering at their inability to catch him one moment and gets yanked back by a force the next. Park Yumpile ties the man to a chair, and the two search the area, but find no clues. Yeonjoo notices an insignia on the man's clothes. If I'm not mistaken, that mark belongs to a criminal organization made up of ability users, right? Park Yumpile is about to recite the country's laws, but the man spits in his face. Fury boils up in Park Yumpile, and he pulls out a hammer from who knows where, ready to show the man some hammered justice. Yeonjoo stops him, saying not to lose his cool. He's got a better way. He slices his finger with a knife and the blood starts to congeal. Then a worm flies out of his fingertip. He holds the worm up to the man. Start talking. Tell me everything you know. The man hesitates but says nothing. The worm seems to get Yeonjoo's signal and suddenly burrows into the man's nose. The man begins to tremble all over as if struggling against some brutal memories in his mind. Yeonjoo turns on a recorder and recites a complex incantation. The spell prompts the worm to stimulate the man's brain, triggering an explosion of dopamine, pure, overwhelming euphoria. The recorder will keep looping the spell, letting the man experience endless pleasure. After who knows how long, the man finally snaps out of it, screaming for them to stop. He never wants to feel that again. Looks like you're ready to cooperate. Tell me where Jang-tae-jun is, or with just a push of a button, you'll feel it all over again. The man panics, insisting he doesn't know where Jang-tae-jun is. He only told me to find a secret vault in the house and bring what was inside to a mysterious client. A secret vault? Why didn't I find anything like that? And who is this mysterious client? I don't know his name, but I do know he's at this. Yeonjoo's gaze grows sharp. Park Yumpile grabs the man by the throat. You're still lying at a time like this. But the man protests it's true. Their organization confirmed who he was. Park Yumpile glances at Yun, worried. Mjun Hyang, what now? Do we keep going? This is too risky. It really is a headache. They never imagined the mysterious client would turn out to be a dragon. Dragons are the most elite race in the world. Anyone tangled up with them is doomed. They possess vast wealth and control the world. Yeonjoo asks a few more questions, then hands the man over to the police to wrap things up. Yeonjoo takes stock of their leads. If the mastermind is a dragon, only those 4 dragons would do something like this. But what's their motive? At this point, Yeonjoo has no answers. The two drive back to Yeonjoo's office, take a short break, then return to Jang-tae-jun's home, but can't find any sign of the secret vault the man mentioned. The frying pan comes up empty too. They discuss the case for a long time and finally conclude to drop it since it's gotten mixed up with dragons. Just then, Kathy bursts in, noticing how worn out the two look, and decides to cook them a meal as a reward. After several rounds of drinks, everyone is thoroughly tipsy. The others head home, leaving Yeonjoo alone on the sofa, drifting off to sleep. Drunk, Yeonjoo dreams of all the things he's done before. Why do I have to go alone? Is it just because I'm a black magician? Or is it something to do with the curse? A sliver of morning sunlight hits Yeonjoo's face, waking him with its glare. He still seems lost in the dream. A child from the bookstore interrupts Yeonjoo's thoughts, handing him a summon. It's an invitation to a meeting. Yeonjoo senses there must be a hidden agenda, otherwise Jennison Company wouldn't call him for no reason. The scene shifts, and Yeonjoo is already outside their building. Why did they invite me here? Could it be they know what we discovered yesterday? Just before this, Yeonjoo was in the kitchen making food. While Kathy and Park Yumpel watch TV, an ad is playing. Some company has bottled the elves' unique scent as a perfume. Kathy seems to realize something and turns to ask Yeonjoo, "How come you don't have that scent? You should be in the prime of your elven youth, shouldn't you?" Yeonjoo brushes it off casually, clearly dodging the question. The scene shifts. Yeonjoo is now in the company's conference room. Blair Jenninson, company secretary, introduces herself, then gets right to the point. She bluntly tells you, "Manjun, my boss is keeping an eye on you. We know all your moves. Who do you think the dragon behind the scenes is? If you're stuck, take a look at our leads. We've narrowed it to 3 main suspects." Looking at the photos, Yeonjoo realizes their thoughts match his own. But one thing puzzles him. "If you've already tracked down leads, why bring me in?" Blair doesn't answer, but asks back, "How much do you know about Hyosung Group? You probably think Hyosung is a pharmaceutical company, and on the surface that's true, but there's a much bigger secret behind it." Yeonjoo says, "Isn't that normal? What company doesn't have secrets? This is different. Their research is extremely dangerous. They're working on how dragon genes are structured." Yeonjoo doesn't seem fazed, as if he already knows everything about dragons. Dragons are a proud race. With their noble blood, they'd never let anyone study them. Maybe the attack on Jang Tae-jun was a young dragon angry about the research. So you think a juvenile dragon did it? But how did you guess Jang Tae-jun was an alien? We don't have concrete proof. The name Jang Tae-jun just appeared out of nowhere. Then he built a company and his success was suspiciously fast. When he vanished, all research came to a halt. Then someone else took over. Hyosung Group's director, Kim Yeonjoo, who now represents the company. With these clues, Yeonjoo starts to see the bigger picture. If Kim Yeonjoo was only loyal to Jang Tae-jun, it would make more sense to say she cares more about Hyosung Group. But why do this? With dragons involved, there's only one possibility. Kim Yeonjoo has secrets no one knows. I think I should drop this case. Yoon stands up, ready to decline further involvement, but Blair hands him a letter. "If you're hesitating, take a look at this, but please read it here." The moment Yoon sees the symbol on the letter, his face instantly darkens. The scene shifts. Wai Min-jun and Park Yumpel arrive outside the Hyosung Group building, and the two of them wait for quite some time. Finally, Kim Yeonjoo appears. At that moment, Yeonjoo catches a distinctive scent. It's a smell he's all too familiar with. This woman has far too many secrets. After answering Park Yumpel's routine questions, Kim Yeonjoo gets up to leave, but Yeonjoo calls out to her. "I'm sure you know what ISB means, don't you?" ISB, or interpacific sex pheromone, refers to a pheromone usually secreted by females to actively arouse sexual excitement in males. But ISB is a phenomenon where certain unique individuals secrete pheromones that attract species they can't even mate with. It's said that ISB needs to occur frequently to emit that particular scent. So, Director Kim Yeonjoo, when exactly did you get involved with a dragon? Judging by Kim Yeonjoo's reaction, Yeonjoo can more or less guess the dragon behind her. Edeline's, an arrogant young dragon. As soon as Yeonjoo and Park Yumpel get back to the car, an awkward noise fills the cabin. Yeonjoo is tempted to toss it out on the spot, but the frying pan brings them a bombshell clue. Kim Yeonjoo often goes to Jang Tae-jun's house, about once a week, and even spends the night there. At that moment, the magic orb in the car begins to play back a voice. It's the spell Wai Min-jun planted on Kim Yeonjoo during the interrogation. Kim Yeonjoo's voice comes through. 2 cops just came by. "What are you going to do now?" "No matter what, you have to find him before the police do. You're a dragon, and you can't even summon a spirit. You really are an idiot. Dragons can't summon spirits. That's something only elves have an affinity for. Do you know how many elves are searching for Jang Tae-jun? This reminds you, Min-jun, of the missing elves case. Enough of this. I already know who to look for. That elf is hiding in a bookstore, and I think I've found it." Meanwhile, Donch is still greeting customers cheerfully. Hearing Donch's voice, Yeonjoo feels a wave of anxiety. Park Yul is ready to drive back, but Yeonjoo stops him. "It's rush hour. Driving will just get us stuck. Yumpel, do exactly as I say. I'll use magic to get back, but you go to Hyosung Group and find Kim Yeonjoo. Put him somewhere safe. If things get out of hand, take him hostage if you have to. I'll handle any procedural fallout." At that moment, Edelines has already found Lakefield and is threatening him for the elemental spirit. Lakefield tells her she's wasting her time. He and the elemental spirit are soul-bound, inseparable, and he refuses to summon it for anyone he doesn't trust. In that case, help me find someone, and I'll let you go. Lakefield's eyes narrow. You don't seem to understand what I'm telling you. The next instant, a terrifying aura explodes from Eileen's. The pressure makes Lakefield tremble uncontrollably. Seeing this, Dongchul remembers what Yeonjoo told him earlier. If anyone tries to cause trouble, just take down that book. Yeonjoo left a spell on it. Open the book and the cactus will automatically form a shield. Right now, Lakefield is being choked hard by Edeline's. Suddenly, a golden light bursts out behind Edeline's, and with a loud bang, the spell's impact hurls Edeline's at the door. At the same time, Yeonjoo finally arrives at the bookstore. Seeing Yeonjoo, Dongch can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The battered Edeline's is seething with rage. Yeonjoo looks at Edeline's with the eyes of someone staring at the condemned. Edeline's, 64 years old, granted Earth citizenship 6 years ago, but never managed to get permanent residency. Edeline's is momentarily stunned. How does this guy know so much about me? Maybe it's your age. You don't even know who I am. Honestly, you're not even qualified to attend the Dragon Council these days. Yeonjoo's taunt makes Edeline's lose his temper, roaring at him to shut up. Are you planning to show your true form here? If you make trouble now, I'm sure the Dragon Elders would love the spectacle. Hearing this, Edeline's regains a bit of composure. He knows if he acts up here, the Elders won't go easy on him. Then he hears Yeonjoo's voice fading away. If you want to fight, follow me. The scene cuts to the two of them in a remote, deserted place. Looks like you're scared of the Dragon Elders. Enough talk. I can't wait to kill you. A beam of blue light shoots into the sky, and the next moment, a massive dragon appears before Yeonjoo. The forest echoes with the sounds of a fierce battle. Edeline's is smashed into the ground by Yeonjoo. A deep trench gouged before him. Floating high above, Yeonjoo can't help but think it's been too long since he last hunted a dragon. He'd used especially powerful forbidden magic to rush here, so his left hand is taking longer than usual to recover. But if there's one thing Yeonjoo has in abundance, it's life force. He chops off his own left arm. Instantly, a surge of violet energy courses through Yeonjoo's stump, and his left arm transforms completely. Flexing his left hand, he gazes down at Edeline's. You want to cause trouble on my turf? You're going to pay the price. Edeline surges forward, wings flapping furiously. But before he can reach Yeonjoo, a jolt of pain shoots through his jaw. Yeonjoo is already in front of him. Yeonjoo has never liked children, and he smashes a heavy blow onto the dragon's massive head, but something about Edeline's behavior is off. Blue light pulses from his body. She no longer cares about the Ealer's rules. Her only thought is to kill the man before her. Yeonjoo thinks she's gone mad. If he doesn't stop her, Earth will face disaster. Seeing this, Yeonjoo vanishes, reappearing above Edeline's the next moment, and stomps on her weak spot. Edeline's crashes to the ground like a meteor. Just one blow, and Edeline's is out cold. But Yeonjoo won't let it end there. If you're going to break the rules and use your powers, don't blame me for being ruthless. Now taste the power of a curse. The searing pain snaps Edeline's back to consciousness. I'm giving you a lesson on behalf of your elders. This slash will leave your lower body paralyzed. Just a simple warning this time. Next time it'll be much worse than paralysis. Having taught the unruly dragon a lesson, Yeonjoo considers taking some extra payment, but is interrupted by a telepathic spell. That's enough. The farce ends here. She's been punished. Let this be the end of it. Is it enough? I don't think so. What about you, Chairman Jenkinson? Let her go. We're the same kind after all. I can't just stand by. You know the Dragon Code, don't you? Yeonjoo's heart sinks. He hadn't expected them to invoke Dragon Law. Dragon Law supersedes all others. Only dragons may execute dragons. Anyone who breaks this rule becomes a target for all dragonkind. But Yeonjoo is unmoved. All I'm doing is punishing someone who trespassed on my territory. Jenkinson, we've been friends many years. Do me this favor. I'll agree, but it doesn't calm my anger. As compensation, I'll take some of her blood. She'll recover anyway. It's better than losing her life, wouldn't you say? Seeing no other choice, Jenkinson agrees. Soon, the cleanup crew arrives and quickly erases all evidence of the fight. Yeonjoo finishes extracting the dragon blood. Meanwhile, Jenkinson transfers 10,000 talent to Yeonjoo. Yeonjoo calls Park Yumpel to check on Kim Yeonjoo's situation. The Zen Yeonjoo arrives at the warehouse where Kim Yeonjoo is being held. The two interrogate her for a long time, but Kim Yeonjoo remains silent. Yeonjoo has no choice but to summon the worm again. Soon enough, Kim Yeonjoo spills everything she knows. Kim Yeonjoo's story shocks Yeonjoo to the core. She and Jang Tae-jun had known each other for 10 years, but one night, her nightmare began. While she slept, Kim Yeonjoo heard something that left her in unbearable pain. I think it's time for me to leave. You're free to date other people now. Kim Yeonjoo didn't understand what he meant, and Jang Tae-jun didn't explain further. She assumed it was her own fault that she hadn't been good enough. Sometime later, Kim Yeonjoo met Edeline's. Maybe out of spite, she quickly got involved with Edeline's. After being with Edeline's, she noticed changes in her body. So she went to the hospital and later told Jang Tae-jun about her condition. The ISB and Kim Yeonjoo's body caught Jang Tae-jun's attention. He made an unreasonable request. He wanted to draw some of Kim Yeonjoo's blood. Hearing this, Kim Yeonjoo was furious, but in the end, she agreed content just to remain by Jang Tae-jun's side. But it didn't last. Jang Tae-jun wanted to liquidate Hyosung Group's shares and donate the money to a social welfare fund. This left Kim Yeonjoo utterly disheartened since Hyosung was her life's work. Once Edeline's heard about this, she presented Kim Yeonjoo with a solution, saying she would take care of everything. After Kim Yeonjoo agreed to the plan, Jang Tae-jun vanished. From Kim Yeonjoo's account, Jang Tae-jun drew her blood to study the fusion of ISP and dragon blood, but he also needed dragon blood. This set Yeonjun thinking, how could he get dragon blood? At that moment, something clicks for Yeonjun, and he turns to Park Yul besides Hanamong. Did Jang Tae-jun own any other properties? The scene shifts, and Yeonjun is already in a taxi. He calls Jenkinson, but it's the secretary who answers. Yeonjun coldly insists, I need Jenkinson on the line no matter what. This concerns the dragons. Cut to the two of them arriving at the seaside, heading toward an old fisherman. During the ride, Yeonjun pieces the whole case together. To avoid exposure, he used a bioid's identity to fake a suicide. The reason was simple. His research was complete. He knew how hard it was to obtain dragon blood, so for his research, he had no choice but to use his own blood, because he himself was a dragon. Yeonjun tells the man that the police already searched his place and found a virus created from Kim Yeonjoo's blood. This virus could disrupt a dragon's immune system and kill them. Yeonjun can't understand why he would study such a virus. Jang Tae-jun gives an answer that leaves Yeonjun railing. Because I hate dragons. I want them all to die. Hearing this, Yeonjun knows there's no peaceful end to this, so he wastes no words and prepares for battle. The next moment, a blue shield covers the sky, sealing everything inside from the outside world. Jenkinson tries to appeal to him as a fellow dragon, but Jang Tae-jun is unmoved. With no choice, Jenkinson transforms for battle. Though Jang Tae-jun claims to hate dragons, he still chooses to reveal his true form and fight. Yeonjun can't help but feel eager. He's never fought two dragons in a single day before. No one hesitates. They all charge at each other. The shock waves of battle turn the sea and shake the city. A torrential downpour lashes the city, the rain like countless whips thrashing against the glass. Gales rage across the ocean, waves battering the shore. Their battle devastates the city, leaving people convinced the end of the world has come. Meanwhile, to calm the public, authorities claim the storm is a natural disaster. Only a select few know the real cause. The scene shifts. Yeonjun is gasping for breath, having lost both arms in the battle. Jenkinson fixes Yeonjun with massive dragon eyes. It's been ages since I've seen you like this. Your power rivals the dragon elders. Yeonjun says nothing, silently regenerating his severed arms. Jenkinson worries he's insulted Yeonjun and starts to gather magical power. The next second, searing flames burst forth. Jang Tae-jun, not to be outdone, charges up lightning magic in his jaws. Their spells collide in a blinding flash. At the same time, Yeonjun completes his transformation and charges at Jang Tae-jun. With the screech of dagger on scales, these wounds open on Jang Tae-jun's enormous body. At death's door, Jang Tae-jun pulls Yeonjun into his mindscape. They sit at a bus stop in silence, the scene suffused with a sense of age and parting. After a long pause, Jang Tae-jun finally speaks. You have the Baroid's body, don't you? Yeonjun confirms it. Good. Now I'll tell you everything. What happens next is up to you. They talk for a long time, and as the bus arrives, their conversation draws to a close. Yeonjun asks one last question. Who else was involved in your plan? I don't know anything about them. They only gave me a suggestion. That's all I know. As the bus fades into the distance, Jang Tae-jun's life comes to an end. A week later, Yeonjun visits a flower shop, choosing flowers as the news plays in the background. Last week's storm has been ruled a natural disaster by experts. The shop assistant scoffs at the official story. No storm like that forms naturally. Yeonjun frowns slightly. Battles between dragons can never be completely hidden. He recalls Jang Tae-jun's warning. Jang Tae-jun injected the virus into the boroid, then sealed it with a spell. If the virus is exposed to temperatures above 500 degrees, the spell will activate. If the body is cremated, the virus will awaken and Earth will face destruction. Luckily, Yeonjoo had already turned the body over to the Immigration Bureau. Their protocols require an autopsy, so the virus would have been discovered and properly contained. Before handing over the body, Yeonjoo had a premonition. He rarely trusts his hunches, but with 800 years of experience, this time he decided to ignore it. Before going home, Yeonjoo took the virus Jang Tae-jun left and pondered what to do with it. Previously, Jang Tae-jun had told Yeonjoo something meaningful. "You have a scent I find familiar." He also asked about Kim Yeonjoo's current situation. Hearing the answer, Jang Tae-jun sighed deeply. "In the end, I still let her down. Every day after Jang Tae-jun's death, a woman can be seen by the sea, waiting for her beloved to come home." After resolving the Jang Tae-jun affair, Yeonjoo, with nothing better to do, began to play with divination. Whether by chance or fate, Yeonjoo drew the same card twice in a row. This card signified a reunion with someone he hadn't seen in a long time. The scene shifts. Yeonjoo brings Kathy to a shopping mall, and as soon as they enter, 2 staff members guide them inside. They are led to a VIP suite where all the goods Yeonjoo had ordered for this trip are laid out. Kathy thinks Yeonjoo must have struck it rich. Indeed, Kathy has no idea just how much dragon blood Yeonjoo has collected. Yeonjoo wants to buy a few more things and hands a slip of paper to the clerk. The clerk suggests they rest in the lounge. It will take about an hour for the rest of the items to arrive. On the way to the lounge, they run into the lawyer from the Jang Tae-jun case, and the two find a spot to chat. The lawyer has a favor to ask and wonders if Yeonjoo accepts private commissions. Because of his special status, Yeonjoo has to turn him down. The lawyer hands over a business card. "If you ever change your mind, feel free to contact me." Before long, the clerk brings out everything Yeonjoo requested. Just as the two are about to leave, a group of men in black rush in. An old man enters, trailed by a horde of bodyguards. The old man glances ahead and suddenly dashes straight toward Yeonjoo. The sight gives Yeonjoo quite a scare. But when he sees the man's face, he relaxes. "Long time no see. How have you been lately? Didn't expect you to remember me. Are you still teaching magic these days?" Yeonjoo shakes his head. He's now an Immigration Bureau agent. The woman beside the old man is thoughtful, then asks if Yeonjoo takes private cases. The old man scolds her, saying it's not the right time. After a brief chat, the old man excuses himself and leaves first. The scene shifts. They're heading back to the office. Kathy didn't expect Yeonjoo to have been a teacher. Teacher by day, hero by night, your life could fill a book. Yeonjoo chuckles. My story is something even the government wouldn't dare reveal. If that's the case, why not tell me your story? Yeonjoo glances at her, then slowly begins. In October 1945, the United Nations was founded, and it was humanity's first encounter with aliens. Aliens established a committee on Earth, which required Earth to accept immigrants from other races. As compensation, Kathy interrupts that's in the textbooks. They recalibrated the magic on Earth. When the magic density changed, humans started developing powers and mass, and these powered people helped Earth advance rapidly. Yeonjoo doesn't respond. Instead, deep in thought, so they really did cover up the truth. The scene jumps. They're back at the office now. Kathy keeps pestering Yeonjoo for more of the story. Just then, there's a knock at the door. When Yeonjoo opens it, a familiar scent washes over him. It reminds him of his earlier fortune. It really had been over 100 years since they'd last met. Standing outside, a man waves at Yeonjoo. His name is Bradley, an American agent. Bradley complains about not hearing from Yeonjoo for so many years. By the way, has that woman contacted you? Yeonjoo is puzzled woman. What woman? Dell, obviously. Who else? Yeonjoo phrases. He loses his usual composure, replaced by anxiety. Kathy notices and worries. Who is this woman to make you react like that? Yeonjoo is silent for a long time, then finally speaks. She is my ex-wife. Later, the two go drinking at a bar. After a few rounds, Yeonjoo snaps his fingers, sealing them in a barrier. So, what's an American agent like you doing in Korea? I'm here to escort a princess that reminds Yoon of something he'd heard in the car earlier. And what's this princess got to do with you? Bradley is a little helpless about it too. Princess Vermy wasn't satisfied with her own guards, so she put in a request to Earth's Immigration HQ. HQ thought Korea alone wasn't secure enough, so they brought in the US too. But rumor has it this will trigger Earth's 8th mass migration. The 8th. The last one was only 40 years ago. Bradley shrugs. Apparently the committee is preparing for it. Then Yim and Jun's expression shifts. I want to hear Dell's story. Bradley thinks for a while. Honestly, I don't know the details. After our last space-time mission, you and I were reassigned elsewhere, and Dell was sent somewhere else. While we were apart, Dell seems to have saved up enough for her release. I figured she'd come find you as soon as she got out. Hearing this, Yeonjoo's heart skips a beat. She already made $5 million. Bradley says there's another way. Maybe she accomplished something big and got a pardon. Like Talicia at the name, Bradley's expression grows somber. At that moment, Yim Jun seems to realize something. If Dell was released, that means she got her memory back right. Wasn't she your ex-wife? Why are you so anxious? You were the one who proposed. Yi Min Jun gets agitated. How was I supposed to know she'd turn out like that? Dell really did love me, but one day she tried to kill me, thinking that was the only way to win her freedom. You know what happens if Dell kills me? She'd be erased. Dell believes in reincarnation, but I don't want her soul to vanish. Bradley catches on. So, she wanted to get rid of her convict status, then kill you. That way, she could avoid that rule maybe. But I'll never forget the last look she gave me. Wait for me. I'll come find you soon. At that thought, a trace of fear crept into Yim Jun's heart. Bradley doesn't know how to comfort Yeonjoo. After a while, they leave the bar. Speaking of Talicia, I doubt you'll follow her path. Nice save, kid. I'm out. See you next time. With that, Yeonjoo vanishes into the alley. The mention of Talicia brings back old memories for Yim Jun. A dictator ruled a planet called Ashtal. He endlessly oppressed its people. Any hint of rebellion brought brutal punishment. One of his henchmen got word that the citizens were rising up. To suppress them, he cut off the planet's food supply. Desperate to survive, the people revolted. When word got out, residents of other planets couldn't bear it and launched a coup together. But the dictator's lackey, just before dying, hit the self-destruct button, blowing up all the planet's infrastructure. Overnight, the once prosperous Ashto became a wasteland. Though they escaped the tyrant, they couldn't escape the suffering that followed. While the citizens groaned in agony, the committee dispatched a convict task force to rebuild the shattered planet. The prisoners rebuilt Ashtal, and Yim Jun only arrived at the very end, where he met Dell. The planet's recovery was thanks entirely to Talicia. She became known as the Mother of Ashtal. Before that, Asht was in ruins, its people turning to cannibalism to survive. When she first arrived, she saw it all. To her, it was hell. Everyone was like the Walking Dead. The scenes of citizens killing each other haunted her constantly, wearing down her mind. She began to crumble, wondering why she was there, why she should help, was saving them just to watch them destroy each other. But as she doubted, something inside her began to grow. With her help, the hungry children ate their fill. Countless trafficked families were saved. Her reputation soared. The people showered her with love and respect. She too grew attached to the planet. Her skills weren't in fighting or invention, but she was a brilliant manager. Her charisma convinced the committee to send more supplies. Under her guidance, the planet slowly came back to life. But because of the dictator's actions, the planet's protective shield was shattered, which allowed countless monsters to invade this world. To protect the planet, she put herself in danger time and again. Sometimes her sanity was questionable, but her leadership never was. Even the prisoners saw her as a mother figure. But after 300 years, everything changed. She'd contributed the most to Ashto's reconstruction, so the committee granted her a pardon. All the other prisoners were happy for her, even helping her plan for the future. She was reluctant to leave. The planet had become her world. They chatted for a while, but when she began to recover her memories, everything changed. Suddenly, she collapsed onto the ground, leaving everyone bewildered by her reaction as they hurried over to check on her. She was shaking, muttering to herself. In her mind, her hands were covered in blood. She couldn't believe the memories that flooded back. Her worldview shattered in an instant. The memories warped her completely. She began to scream over and over, "I'm sorry!" She begged the committee to let her leave. "Please let me go. I'll do anything. Just let me out." For some reason, the committee granted her request. She left without looking back. Sometime later, she took her own life. Talia's death became a lingering regret for Yeonjoo and the others. What memories did she recover? Why was she a prisoner? And none of this is known to anyone at present. Talia's severance pay was only 1.2 million. Yet the memories were that horrific. That made Yeonjoo think about his own 5 million payoff. Don't worry, Bradley. No matter how terrible the memories I recover, I'll never end up like Telesia. Meanwhile, somewhere in the cosmos, a spaceship is heading toward Earth. At its helm is none other than Yeonjoo's wife, Del. Yeonjoo, wait for me. It won't be long now before we meet again. Elsewhere, Jennison learns of the Buck Hansen warehouse incident, his tone icy as he questions his staff. All the treasures in the warehouse are gone. Is that it? Blair is anxious. Yes, Chairman. There were no clues near the warehouse. Not even the elemental spirits could track anything down. Do you have any idea why I went to the committee? You know how important the contents of that warehouse are, and now you're telling me everything's been stolen. Lalisa, I spent 10 billion on you, yet now I see just how useless you are. Is this the strength you bragged about? And you, Blair, your efficiency disappoints me. If you knew something might happen at the warehouse, why didn't you contact that person? If this happens again, I won't hesitate to replace you. I don't know what the thief's goal is, but they'll probably try to leave Earth quickly. I'll inform the committee and have all dimensional terminals on Earth shut down. Now contact him. Whatever he asks for, I'll agree to it. After the call, Jenkinson is irked by the thought of owing someone a favor. At the same time, Yeonjoo receives a call from Blair. The scene jumps to the group. Arriving at the Buck Hansen warehouse, Yeonjoo surveys the area, but finds nothing suspicious. He turns to Blair. Besides using the spirit's abilities, have you tried anything else? I tried reaching out to others for help, but nothing worked. If the other side used magic, magical traces can be wiped clean. Yeonjoo notices the exorcism barrier near the entrance. With that here, not even ghosts can get close. Even if there were ghosts, they'd be destroyed. Last night, there was a news report about a fire on Buck Hansen. I thought it was just another turf war among Jennison's kids, but it turned out to be a large-scale ritual spell. A spell strong enough to break a dragon's barrier, devour both the material and spirit worlds, and leave no trace behind. It gives Yeonjoo a headache. Meanwhile, the elf proposes, could we get a druid to talk to the animals? Maybe something on the mountain saw what happened. Yeonjoo is about to object, but then an idea strikes. There can't be any living animals nearby. Even a druid wouldn't help. What if we summon a dead animal instead? With that, Yeonjoo slices his palm open. A burst of black magic erupts from his hand, slowly forming into the shape of a fawn. Blair is intrigued by Yeonjoo's methods. This is a soul of the dead. Even if the thief cast a powerful spell to drive out all lingering spirits, they still remember the moment of their death. The scene shifts. Several figures are seen outside the warehouse, deep in conversation. Everything's ready, right? The others nod in unison, then let the game begin. Vile aliens, get off our Earth. After viewing the soul's memories, Yeonjoo exhales slowly. So, it was them causing trouble. They're a criminal group using human rights as their banner with networks across the globe, involved in multiple anti-dragon operations, all of which failed. After that, they vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, Blair bows deeply to Yeonjoo, saying he's the only one she can trust now. You know what these people are like, right? Are you trying to get me into a fight with them? Blair objects. The chairman won't return for another week. I'm only asking you to find their trail before he gets back. All dimensional terminals will be closed until the chairman returns. I understand, but you know this won't be easy. So tell me, what's my fee? Blair knows Yeonjoo never works for free and immediately hands him a blank check. Yeonjoo is taken aback. He hadn't expected Jenkinson to trust him this much. He scratches his head. Looks like I have no choice but to take this one. I'll get started. If I find anything, I'll let you know. I think I already have an idea where to begin. Meanwhile, in a tattoo parlor, a tattooist is inking an orc. Through his headphones, he listens to plans targeting aliens. Earth isn't what it used to be. We need to fight for human rights. Human rights only apply to humans now. The scene shifts. Police are dispersing goblins nearby. Stepping outside, Du Yonggok finds crows rummaging through the trash and irritably chases them away. Those damned crows, just as annoying as aliens. Meanwhile, the voice in his headphones continues. Aliens immigrated to Earth for a better life, only to exploit humanity. Their so-called immigration policy is just a way to squeeze human wages and keep us in economic servitude. No matter what happens on Earth, they always have an escape route. But we humans only have Earth. If we lose control of Earth, we'll have nothing left. So far, our brothers in the association are everywhere, secretly working across the country. We must focus our efforts on the two greatest threats: Dragons and beast folk, those scaly devils are leeches manipulating society from the shadows. We must resist and drive them out as soon as possible. And those damned beastkin, they breed like cockroaches. They're a disaster. We have to wipe them out. Recently, we've received word that Earth will soon face its 8th immigration wave. You may not know their biology. Investigations show their kind ovulates almost daily, laying over a dozen eggs each time. Their height is even more astonishing, averaging 3.5 m. How much will it cost to adapt Earth's facilities for them? They're just like beast fog, a race that only knows how to reproduce. So, we've decided to mobilize every resource to stop the committee's 8th immigration plan. And our first step is to capture someone who can turn the tide. The scene shifts to Bradley greeting a dwarf before him. The dwarf introduces herself as Alga, an interpreter. Bradley asks how Princess Vermy has been lately. Alga is silent for a moment. To be honest, Princess Vermy is uneasy. The negotiations between the committee and the two nations have been tense due to security concerns, but it helps that they sent an outstanding agent like you as chief of security. Don't worry too much. I doubt the princess will give you a hard time. That's enough small talk. The princess is in this room. Bradley knocks on the door and upon opening it, sees a strange figure. Suddenly, a pair of fierce eyes glare out from within, followed by a deafening roar. Alga translates, "She says she's pleased to meet you and hopes you'll do your utmost to protect her." Bradley had expected a beautiful princess, but instead finds himself facing a crocodile. Elsewhere, a man in a hoodie seeks out the tattoo artist Do Yonggok. The hooded man says, "Once you pass this test, you'll be one of us. But first, there's one more thing." He pulls out a photo of a Beastman tattoo. I bet you know the meaning of this tattoo better than I do. Do Yonggok glances at the photo, not quite getting his point. In the previous timeline, beast folk lived as slaves, so there's no way they'd know about these tattoos. But have you considered how much trouble it would be if someone ever figured out what this tattoo means? So from today onward, don't leave any evidence behind. Move your tattoo shop immediately. That's all the warning you'll get. Now let's begin. The door to success is open to you. Do Yonggok grins and agrees. Just then, magical barriers appear all over the metal door. As Du Yang steps through, even though he's mentally prepared, the setting still sends a cold sweat running down his back. He sees a beastman tied to a bench. The hooded man hands Du Yonggok a weapon. "You know what to do. Show us your rage and courage." Du Yonggok swallows hard, then walks toward the beastman, psyching himself up with each step. "It's fine. I'm just taking revenge. It's these beast folk that drove me to this." The hooded man suddenly speaks. "I can feel your anger. It's time to give back your pain, twice over." Just as Du Yang finally steels himself to act, a black feather from a crow floats down. The next moment, Du Yang's hands are gone. From the shadows, a figure slowly emerges. The hooded man is shocked by the display. There's no sign the barriers were breached. "Who is this guy? You must know who we are, so you know what happens if you cross us. I'd actually like to see what happens." Earlier, Yim-jun had tracked this place down using the lead from Park Yumpil. Yim-jun slowly raises his hand, a red aura gathering around it. He closes his hand, and the magic circle binding the beastman vanishes. The hooded man, seeing Yeonjoo's move, realizes he must be a powerful magician. "If it's just magic, we can't beat him. But you'll regret getting involved with me. We've obtained magic from the Witches' League, and no spell can touch us now." A sudden explosion shatters his delusion. One of his teammates drops dead. The others are terrified, and the magical shield doesn't work. Now the hooded man feels real fear. Could he be a dragon? Only dragons have this kind of power. "You go. I'll hold him off. Even if black magic shortens my lifespan, I have no choice now. No matter what happens, I have to stall you. By my blood, darkness, hear my summons." Meanwhile, Yeonjoo also begins chanting a spell. The next second, an explosion erupts above the magician's head. This makes the hooded man even more wary of Yeonjoo's power. Good thing this guy bought me some time. Otherwise, my spell would never have finished. As a magician yourself, you should know what I've summoned behind me, right? That's something that can tear apart both the material and spiritual planes. Before the hooded man can finish, his face twists with horror because looming before him is an even larger shadow creature. The sight nearly scares him out of his wits. "Kid, let's play a little game of Q&A." Now, the scene shifts. Yun is sitting at a table staring at the man in front of him. "Not bad. You woke up a few seconds earlier than I expected." The hooded man demands, "Why are members of the Alga school so hostile toward me?" Yeonjoo pauses. "That guy's a wanted criminal in 26 countries. a master of the Alga school, a notorious black magician. Looks like he's mistaken me for one of Alga's people, but that doesn't really matter. The next moment, Yeonjoo flicks a worm into the man's nose. The man holds his breath and forces the worm out. Save it. I'm a black magician too. Tricks like that won't get me to talk. Hearing this, Yeonjoo grows interested. Looks like I'll have to use other methods. I happened to run into a dragon recently, over 1,000 years old. But within just a few hours, he was dead and gone. You know, I thought he was the most pitiful person in the world, but it looks like starting today that title belongs to you. You're about to regret ever being born. Meanwhile, Bradley is learning about Princess Vermy's habits from Olga. No one is allowed within 10 meters of her while she's laying eggs. At the same time, after finishing his interrogation, Yeonjoo also arrives at Princess Vermy's side. Learning that Princess Vermy is laying eggs astounds him. How can she lay eggs in the morning? It doesn't match his memory of the Chutanian race. Yeonjoo brushes it off and calls Bradley over, briefly explaining the Human Rights League situation. Bradley seems to understand their motives. So, you're here to protect Princess Vermy, right? Just then, a loud crash echoes next door. Bradley tells Yeonjoo that's Princess Vermy. She's laying an egg. This sets Yeonjoo thinking. He's sure he's heard that sound somewhere before. Bradley explains Chutanian females go through this every day. They call it nature's curse. But a memory deep within Yeonjoo tells him that's not the whole story. He sinks into deeper thought. Why do I know this? Before he can ponder further, Bradley interrupts. After chatting for a bit, they return to their rooms to rest. The next day, a large security presence appears outside the hotel. Meanwhile, Princess Vermy dons a brand new skin and prepares to go out. Olga briefs Yeonjoo and Bradley on Vermy's itinerary. Bradley notices something odd about the trip. On the surface, it's just a shopping trip, but really she's here to observe Earth to prep for migration. The scene shifts. They're chatting in the car. During the conversation, Yeonjoo senses something off. Before I came, I read a lot about the Chutanian species. Most info matches up, but one thing contradicts my memory. The issue of reproduction. In my memory, once a Chutanian female lays a fertilized egg, she stops ovulating for decades. It seems there are memories from before I became a convict that still haven't been wiped. Memories I just can't access now. They say Galeno is a planet of many races. The Chutanian were the most powerful there, but because of their strength, they had to fight all the other races and ultimately lost. Now, they're the lowest status race on Galenko. Yeonjoo can't make sense of something and asks, Your Highness, many Earthlings believe your visit is to lay the groundwork for migration. That rumor exists, but it's baseless. Earth's climate and infrastructure are incompatible with our needs. This tiny planet simply can't support us. Even if migration were planned, it would take a very long time to prepare. In fact, before coming to Earth, someone promised Princess Vermy that if she handled this matter well, she'd earn the right to reproduce, which meant eliminating her rival princesses. Of course, Yeonjoo knows none of this. Still in the dark, he asks, So, are you here for business? Princess Vermy doesn't answer, but instead tells the driver to head to a pension fund company. Your Highness, do you have an appointment? Popping in unannounced could cause chaos. Vermy tells Yeonjoo not to worry. Her goal is chaos at the company. Meanwhile, the pension fund company is notified. Princess Vermy will arrive in 5 minutes. The entire office is thrown into panic. At that moment, Princess Vermy reveals to Yeonjoo her real purpose on Earth. She's here to collect an old debt. As soon as they step out of the car, they see a crowd waiting at the company entrance. Look at their nervous faces. Her Highness's move really hit the mark. From the start, she gave the driver a random destination. No one expected it would be this company. When Yeonjoo finally sees the company's name, he can't help but remark, So it's this company. Since the boss isn't in, they have to wait a while. A bit later, there's a noise at the door. An old man walks in. The company's president and also the old friend Yeonjoo met at the mall. Princess Vermy immediately begins discussing the debt with the president. Yeonjoo and his companion wait outside. To Yeonjoo's surprise, the debtor is his old acquaintance, Oh Mansik. Not knowing the details, he asks Kathy to have the government investigate the real story. A short while later, Kathy sends over the results of her investigation. For some reason, Oh Mansik had started large-scale gold prospecting. But before long, gold prices began to plummet. Instead of giving up, he doubled down on refining and processing. Just as he was about to collapse financially, someone approached him and offered a lifeline. This person developed a device called the MSF filter, which could help him synthesize gold more efficiently, and sold it to him for a very low price. Oh Mansik explained he had no cash flow left in his company, but the other party said he could just sign a debt contract and pay when things improved. In the end, Oh Mansik agreed, but things didn't go as planned. Over time, his company's revenue kept shrinking. Debt collection calls swarmed in until one day the debt was transferred to someone else. And that person was Princess Vermy. At this point, Oh Mansik put together a PPT on how he might repay the debt. But Princess Vermy wasn't having any of it. You have two choices. Either pay off the debt in full or transfer your company shares to me. You better think carefully. You know what I'm capable of. Oh man, Sik bowed his head in resignation, asking for one day to consider. The scene shifts. Princess Vermy is back in the car. As she's enjoying her meal, Yeonjoo catches a strange scent. It doesn't belong to Princess Vermy. It smells more like insect pheromones. At that moment, a swarm of insects appears outside the car. For reasons unknown, the bugs all swarm toward their vehicle. Realizing the ambush, Yeonjoo immediately senses danger. Within seconds, the steel car is reduced to a pile of scrap. These insects are classified by the committee as a Level 1 disaster species. Their metallic exoskeletons are so tough they could be used as spaceship components. When they spot an enemy, they fold their wings and generate magnetic fields to propel themselves at high speed. Getting hit by one is like being rammed by a miniature spaceship. Suddenly, a black-purple light shoots into the sky. Yeonjoo hoists Princess Vermy and carries her out. To protect her, Yeonjoo takes heavy injuries himself, while everyone else perishes. Before he can get his bearings, a second wave of insects descends. At that moment, Yeonjoo bites his lip, and the next instant, a torrent of searing flames erupts. He thought fire would melt their brains, but to his shock, the insects charge through the blaze, completely unfazed. This surprises Yeonjoo. He tries to use magic to analyze their structure, only to discover they aren't powered by life force, but by magical energy. That means someone is controlling them from behind the scenes, making them effectively immortal. Meanwhile, Bradley shouts up to Yeonjoo. They are targeting Princess Vermy. Learning this, Yeonjoo thinks of a place that could block the insects. He grabs Princess Vermy and bolts for safety. Since he can't fight freely while holding her, he decides to get her to a safe place first. He quickly returns to his office. At the same time, Yeonjoo uses telepathy to ask the bookstore owner, Lakefield, to open the barrier. In the next moment, a yellow shield isolates the insects outside. Back at the office, Yeonjoo surveys the area, and the unlucky Lakefield once again gets dragged into the mess. Yeonjoo reassures everyone that he's already contacted the Immigration Bureau to deal with the insects. Meanwhile, Princess Vermy is waving her arms around, chattering rapidly. Without a translator, Yeonjoo has no idea what she's saying. He's about to try telepathy when Princess Vermy lets out a loud cry. After calming her down, Yeonjoo asks, "Did you touch anyone or anything unusual today? We need to determine the source of the chemical in your body. The food can be ruled out since it's prepared by specialists. And since the insects didn't attack your kin, that means the chemical wasn't released into the air. That leaves only one possibility. You touched something today." From her gestures, it seems she understands Yeonjoo's question, but he still can't make out her words. At that moment, Lakefield suggests Yeonjoo needs a translator and has Dongch bring something from the warehouse. Soon, Dongch returns with the item. To Yeonjoo's surprise, it's the frying pan from Jang Tae-jun's house. Seeing the frying pan reminds Yeonjoo that it can serve as a translator thanks to its psychic communication. As soon as Yeonjoo picks it up, it blurts out something embarrassing. "Master, how would you like to use me today? I'm already getting excited." Yoon asks the pan to talk with Princess Vermy. Meanwhile, Yeonjoo receives an update on Oh Mansik. For some reason, he's gotten involved with the Human Rights League. Before long, the frying pan finishes talking with Princess Vermy. She says she didn't touch anything unusual today, but did come into contact with some humans of whom Oh Mansik is the most suspicious. Hearing this, Yeonjoo feels a chill in his heart. The zen shifts. Bradley receives a message from Yeonjoo. Yeonjoo asks Bradley to track down the mastermind behind the attack on Princess Vermy. "If we want to find them, we'll have to rely on your skills." Bradley's abilities include X-ray vision, but more importantly, he can sense traces left on objects. He doesn't see magical residues, but something even subtler. Right now, Bradley is humming a tune from his homeland as he directs the driver. He's in a good mood because if he can catch someone from the Human Rights League, he'll be free from his convict status. He only needs to pay off 70,000 talent, but he has no idea what's about to happen next. The scene shifts. The group arrives at an underground parking garage. Bradley warns everyone to be careful. No sooner has he spoken than he notices something off. A man is standing boldly before them. Bradley is curious why the man would appear so openly. Judging by his demeanor, it's like he was expecting us. At that moment, the man begins to chant a spell. When Bradley catches a good look at the man's face, his pupils contract in terror and he panics, shouting for everyone to run. Just as Bradley tries to escape, a laser slices through his body. The others barely have time to react before they witness a horrifying scene. The scene shifts. Sik is sorrowfully looking over the share transfer contract in his hand. I sold off everything to keep the refinery running. I took out huge loans to keep my talent from leaving. Everything I did was for the country. So why after all this do I end up like this? Maybe that guy is in cahoots with Princess Vermy. Maybe it's just to keep me under their thumb. But after he showed up, the Human Rights League came for me too. They watched me for a long time before trying to recruit me. If I could pass one test, they'd pay off my debts. The test was simple. Get close to Princess Vermy when she arrived and perform a few small tasks. For the sake of the company, I agreed. Just then, Oh Mansik's office phone rings. He answers only to be told, "There are a lot of Immigration Bureau agents downstairs. Those agents are none other than Yeonjoo and his team." Oh Man is terrified. He's heard plenty about the Bureau's reputation. If I fall into their hands, there's no way I can hide my ties to the Human Rights League. That would put me in an even more terrifying situation. If there's no way out, I might as well end it myself. If I swallow this, I can finally be free. Just then, several tree branches burst through the door, restraining Oh Mansik before he can act. With Oh Mansik secured, Yeonjoo glares at him darkly. "Mr. Oh Mansik, tell me everything you know about the Human Rights League." "I'm sorry, Mr. Yeonjoo, but I have the right to remain silent." "Very well. If you won't talk, don't blame me for being ruthless." "Teacher, why? Why are you taking their side too? During the 7th migration, we welcomed the elves. We never did anything to them. Why do you want to wipe us out?" Yeonjoo's face darkens. "Maybe you don't know. My blood is 80% human, 20% elven. But what does that matter? Does that justify joining the Human Rights League? What's their real goal? Wiping out all non-humans or just driving them off the planet?" "Mr. Yeonjoo, save your breath. I'm not talking, Vine. If that's your decision, don't expect mercy. I was going to interrogate you myself, but I'll just hand you over to the dragons instead. That's a lot easier for me. They'll use magic to stimulate your brain, and you'll spill everything, whether you want to or not. All your memories will be laid bare, but the process is excruciating. At least until you talk, you won't be allowed to die." At that moment, Yeonjoo's phone rings. When he answers, the news he receives makes his heart sink. Lazine Shavun has arrived at the underground garage. The elf beside him tells Yeonjoo Bradley's soul is no longer here. The committee imprisons the souls of all convicts, transferring them to bodies with a special magic. It takes the committee a huge amount of time and resources to use such magic, but for a soul that's left its body, not even the committee can find it now, which means Bradley is truly dead. Fine. You've succeeded in making me angry, you bastards. If you won't show any mercy, don't expect any from me. You sons of __ now feel my wrath. After that, Yeonjoo contacts Blair. Princess Vermy must be sent back to her planet. You can reach out to Jennison and have him reopen the terminal. Whatever it takes, you must get her out of here. Given the situation, she's no longer safe staying here. You know what kind of trouble we'll be in if something happens to Princess Vermy. I don't have the energy to protect her now because I have to find that bastard and tear him apart. The scene shifts to a spaceship where Jennison is reviewing some files and notices that a certain race has traveled to Earth alone. Before he can look into it, he's interrupted by someone nearby. They tell him Blair is looking for him. Blair informs Jennison about what just happened on Earth. Hearing of Bradley's death, Jennison lets out a heavy sigh. A short while later, Blair tells Yeonjoo, "Everything is ready. All you need to do is contact Princess Vermy." Upon hearing this, Yeonjoo quickly gives the order. "Notify Princess Vermy and her people to gather their belongings immediately. You are to escort them safely to the terminal." The scene shifts to Princess Vermy and Yeonjoo waiting in the departure lounge. Bored Yeonjoo starts thinking about Bradley again. He was so close to being free from his convict status. With his powers, he could have had a life of luxury if only. At that moment, Princess Vermy approaches holding the frying pan. Minja knows what she wants, so he puts his hand on it. "I'm sorry. Your friend's death seems to be my fault. About this. I truly feel sorry for him. Your Highness, it's not your fault. There are always casualties during missions. Just then, an agonizing scream rings out from outside. A staff member has fallen to his knees in pain for some unknown reason. He's melting like a candle, his whole body dissolving. Hearing the noise, Yeonjoo rushes out. There he finds a familiar face. Good. You just saved me the trouble of tracking you down. The man who killed Bradley steps out slowly, surrounded by a host of unconscious zombies. He is none other than Theo, the black magician wanted by 26 countries. Long time no see, Yeonjoo. These zombies are the stage I've prepared for you. At that moment, the bridge to the terminal is also swarming with zombies, some even walking through the water, and all these zombies have only one goal: to destroy the propulsion device up ahead. Yoon dashes back to his room and tells Blair to take the princess to the car and activate the spaceship. As Jenninson's secretary, I assume you know that special code. Blair is surprised. How does he know this? That spaceship was built by the committee and can only be used with their authorization. To activate it, you need a code provided by the committee. But in emergencies, there's a special code that bypasses their approval. Just who is this man that he even knows such a secret? Meanwhile, Yeonjoo alerts all nearby agents. Protect the princess and her group on their way to the spaceship. Blair, I'm leaving Her Highness in your care. Yeonjoo quickly heads to the center of the battle where he spots Theo hidden among the zombies. In a flash, Yeonjoo is already above his enemy. Remember when you destroyed my school? Back then you had 2 dragons at your side. But now it's just you and me, you parasite, who only knows how to hide behind dragons. I'll tear you to pieces with real black magic. Oh, really? I don't quite remember, but I am curious to see which of us ends up in pieces. Theo is already descending into madness, directing the zombie horde to attack Yeonjoo, but suddenly streaks of red light appear among the zombies, and with a single shockwave, Yeonjoo wipes them all out. Now Yeonjoo radiates an overwhelming killing intent. Is that all you've got? Theo sneers and raises his hand, unleashing a massive surge of energy. I invented over a dozen spells just to kill you. I won't let you die until you've tasted every last one. With a bang, all the spells detonate at once. Theo cackles at his handiwork, but as the smoke clears, Yeonjoo's figure appears unharmed. Looks like I overestimated you. Your power really ends here. No matter what Theo tries, he can't land a scratch on Yeonjoo, and this slowly begins to shake his confidence. I prepared everything to take him down. Those sacrifices' screams keep echoing in my mind. But why? Why can't I beat him no matter how much I prepare? Just what kind of monster is this man? The scene shifts and Theo's story unfolds. Theo was born into a happy family, but he didn't follow in his parents' footsteps. Instead, he chose a completely different path. He possessed unparalleled talent in black magic. Years passed, and he showed up in a poor district somewhere in Europe. A few beast folk thanked him devoutly, for he not only gave them food, but also found them jobs. At that time, he didn't hate beast folk. In his eyes, beast folk were simply tools for his black magic experiments. Nobody cared about the lives or deaths of beast folk. Even as they vanished in mass across Europe, no one bothered to investigate. This made him more and more brazen. He even promoted himself in some cities, claiming he was happy to help beast folk with food and jobs, all for the sake of his black magic research. Until one day, the military began to hunt Theo and his people. Yeonjoo and the dragons arrived on the scene as well. For this operation, the dragons sent many of their kin. The military discovered Theo's workshop. Words could not describe what they found there. By then, Yeonjoo and the dragons had already destroyed Also Academy, and a bounty was placed on Theo's head. Meanwhile, Theo managed to escape. He never expected anyone would actually investigate the missing beast folk. Perhaps because after the beast folk vanished, so many industries in the country lost their workforce. This made him hate Yeonjoo and the dragons even more. He saw them as hypocrites. Determined to take revenge, he devised even crueler plans. But he lacked the funds until the Human Rights League approached him, and the two sides struck a deal. The scene shifts back to the present. Theo watches as Yeonjoo emerges unscathed, and it drives him into deeper madness. Suddenly, a beam of energy pierces through Theo's chest, and Yeonjoo says coldly, "You're too noisy. Shut that filthy mouth of yours." Theo slowly stands, the wound in his chest gradually healing. I have to admit, I'm curious. How can you wield such powerful black magic and still be alive? With wounds like that, you should be dead. Zoe, I get it. You must have sold your body to the dragons for that vitality. Otherwise, there's no way you could withstand the backlash of black magic. You no longer deserve to call yourself a black magician. Black magic is it. Vine, let me show you what real black magic looks like. Theo trembles with excitement at Yimyun's serious expression. Excellent. Show me what you call black magic. Red blisters begin to form on Theo's chest. Even Imanjun can't help but sigh. This guy's a complete lunatic. Theo knows there's no escape. Then you can stay here with me. YM Jun, you brought this on yourself. I never planned to use this move. I hate anything that makes me feel pain. But if I'm going to die, I'm taking you with me. You've only yourself to blame. You should have killed me in Europe. Now I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life. The instant Theo vanishes, clouds begin to gather and mass overhead. The scene is apocalyptic. A second later, a purple tornado infused with destructive power forms. Seeing this, Yimjun quickly retreats. Not wanting to cause collateral damage, Imanjun rapidly gathers his magic. Streams of energy roar out in an instant, but in the next moment, Yimjun is stunned. His magic hasn't even scratched the tornado. I can't believe Theo actually sacrificed his own flesh to unleash the ultimate black magic. But what troubles Yemenjun more is that the tornado is filled with a swarm of insects. The swarm can't kill Yimjun, but if he can't stop them, they'll devastate the surrounding cities, and every city in their path will turn to ash. There's no way I can stop this many insects on my own. With Jennison gone, my only option is to ask the other dragons for help. Just then, a spaceship appears through a portal. But Yemenjun ignores it. His focus is on the swarm. If I want to hold them off for a while, it looks like I'll have to sacrifice my arm. At that moment, a terrifying pressure descends. Yemenjun stops what he's doing and looks up. A colossal being appears in the sky, so vast it seems the heavens themselves can't contain it. Yemenjun frowns in confusion. Why are they on Earth? When I first became a convict and lost my memories, it was they who explained my situation, even telling me what I'd have to do next. They are one of the committees that govern countless races and convicts. An ancient race known as Indelion. Yemenjun is baffled. What brings them here? Given their status, they shouldn't have come at all. Suddenly, Indelion's eyes blaze with a blinding light, and a massive black hole appears. The black hole begins to suck in the nearby insects like some monstrous beast devouring its prey. The entire swarm is pulled into the abyss. The abyss is a space even the committee can't control. A place where things go in but never come out, and where the most heinous prisoners are kept. Luckily, Indelion is controlling the black hole, or else everything nearby would be destroyed as well. Just then, a yellow light appears before Yeonjun. A chubby dragon elf materializes and tells Yeonjun about Blair's current predicament. This news sends Yeonjun into a fury. Those damned crocodiles really don't know what's good for them. Earlier, while Imanjun was still fighting Theo, the agents were forced to battle the zombies in order to protect Princess Vermy. Many agents were injured. As a result, a crocodile carried an injured agent onto the spaceship, and Blair, putting the mission first, prepared to activate the ship. At that moment, Blair sensed something. There's a resonance from President Jennison's treasure here. I'm certain his artifact is on this ship. This sound is imperceptible to other species, but I was trained by the president. This resonance is unmistakable. However, when I inspected the ship, its weight was clearly different from before. Normally, before boarding, their cargo should be checked. But in an emergency, that step is often skipped. Sorry, everyone. I have to inspect the cargo hold. In the crowd, Princess Vermy wore an expression that no one could read. The Chutanian people can't be trusted now, but the agents here are no help either. Given my current predicament, it seems I can only turn to him. The scene shifts. A man admires a photograph before him. His subordinate reports, "Depute Director, aside from Theo, there's something you should know about the Buckinson warehouse." The man looks puzzled. Didn't that mission already fail? Why bring it up? Sir Jenkinson's treasure was stolen on the same day as ours? That fire wasn't Jenkinson's doing? The man freezes in shock, so the fire was just to distract Jenkinson and put the blame on me. Who the hell dared set me up like this? Meanwhile, a pistol quietly appears behind Blair. Princess Vermy threatens her in English. "Enter the special code now. If you want to live, don't try anything." Blair has no choice but to comply. As Blair inputs the code, she runs through possible countermeasures and wonders about the true purpose of the visitors. Could the whole immigration story be a lie? Is their real goal the president's treasure? Whatever their motive, I cannot let them take Jennison's artifact. Just then, a faint glow appears on Blair's hand. The light gathers into a small golden orb. Go find Yeonjun. Tell him everything that's happening here. At the same time, Yeonjoo is making his way toward Blair, but the sheer number of zombies has bogged down the other agents in tough fights. Yeonjoo has to dispatch zombies as he goes. Just as he's about to warn the agents, a blinding light erupts. Indelion and the zombies vanish, and the airport returns to its usual calm. Yeonjoo barely has time to react before he heads off to find Blair. At that moment, a familiar voice comes from behind. "Where are you rushing off to? After all these years, you haven't changed a bit. How have you been, Myun?" The sound makes Yeonjoo's hands tremble. "Why are you here?" Del smiles. "Of course, I came by spaceship." That reminds Yoon of the ship he saw during the battle. But now is not the time for a reunion. Princess Vermy's ship is about to depart. I have to stop her. "Sorry, Del. I have urgent business." As Yeonjoo turns to leave, Del grabs his arm. "Yeonjoo, you're too much. After all these years, shouldn't you be focused on me right now?" Without hesitation, Yeonjoo breaks free. "Sorry, but I really have an emergency to handle. Because of the delay, the ship is about to cross the dimensional threshold." At that moment, Del's killing intent surges to the surface. As Min-jun races after the ship, a tentacle suddenly latches onto the nearly vanished vessel. Min-jun is stunned. He knows that tentacle all too well. Del speaks in a chilling tone. "What's on that ship that's got you so distracted? Why isn't your attention on me, my dear husband?" Long ago, when Princess Vermy was still a child, her parents instilled in her a single idea. On their planet, all alien races were invaders. They told her story. One day, the committee issued an order designating their planet as a migration world. What seemed like an honor turned out to be a disaster. The new races didn't thank the Chutanian for anything. They rallied the others to overthrow them. The raids went from once a month to once a day. Many Chutanian women could no longer bear children. Many lost their lives during these raids. The constant oppression meant Chutanian men and women were managed separately, robbing them of the freedom to marry and reproduce. When the story ended, her parents told her to never forget. Before coming to Earth, a mysterious figure approached Princess Vermy. "I know you've scouted Earth many times. If your people want to migrate, just pay the price, and I'll convince the committee." Vermy fell into deep thought. She didn't believe in migration, but if she wanted to resist her planet's oppressive powers, she needed the committee's support. After much thought, she agreed and asked what the price would be. In the darkness, a pair of crimson eyes glowed. "The price is simple. Just visit Earth often as a princess, and whenever you travel, use your ship to transport some cargo for me." The scene shifts. Del uses her tentacle to sever the spaceship. Everyone inside tumbles out. Del assures Yeonjoo that everything inside is unharmed, but she can't help but wonder what exactly is in there that Yeonjoo cares so much about. For a moment, Yeonjoo is at a loss for words. This only makes the already resentful woman even more jealous. Del scans the faces of those who fell until her gaze lands on Blair. "So is it because of this woman that you're ignoring me?" In the next instant, a special power flares in Del's eyes. A blood-red eye appears before Blair, staring straight into her soul. With no battle experience, Blair is utterly terrified. Yeonjoo had thought Del would go after Princess Vermy, so he points her out, indicating she's the real culprit. This infuriates Del. "Yeonjoo, are you telling me you've fallen for a crocodile? I come all this way and you tell me you like a crocodile. Yeonjoo, you're unbelievable." Yeonjoo, helpless, tries to brush things off with a few words. "Sorry, Princess Vermy. As the main suspect in the Buckhanson warehouse case, you're under arrest from this moment on. Soon, all the Chutanian people are detained. And with that, Princess Vermy's hope of securing her people's freedom is shattered." The scene shifts. Del seems to have waited alone for Yoon for a long time. Just then, Yeonjoo arrives. "Sorry to keep you waiting. There was a lot to handle after what just happened." Del puts on a demure expression, saying, "It's fine." The two sit in silence for a long while, facing each other. Eventually, Del breaks the silence. "I'm sorry about what happened earlier." Yeonjoo is stunned. She's actually apologizing. In the past, she'd have done something even worse. "I should have been calmer, but at least nothing truly serious happened. As for that young elf girl, I left her a little gift out of remorse." Seeing Del like this, Yeonjoo feels a touch of relief. But what surprises me most is that Del actually has Indelian blood. I thought she came here to kill me, but by a twist of fate, she ended up helping me. Yeonjoo is curious about Del's reasons for coming to Earth. "Actually, I have a few reasons for coming back. First, I wanted to properly see you. We haven't met in so many years. Second, I wanted to say I'm sorry. During those decades of marriage to you, I got it into my head that if I just killed you, I could finally be free. And I'm sorry for how childish I was back then. They chat for a while until Dell suddenly says she has to go. They lock eyes for a long moment, and though Yeonjoo seems ready to speak, he swallows his words. Goodbye, my dear. I'll look forward to our next meeting. The chef Yeonjoo is back at his office searching for information on his computer. This is classified intel on special mission number 47 assigned by the committee. If not for Dell, I'd never have gotten these secrets. It's not much, but it's enough. After all, it concerns Indelian. My dear ex-wife. Who are you really? Not long after Yeonjoo meets with Jenkinson. You probably know to keep from being erased by the committee, I have to pay a special fee every month. So I hope you'll transfer the money soon. It's worth 300,000 gallant after all. Jenkinson gazes silently out the window. The Zen chef. He enters the conference room with a PowerPoint on payment plans. This job really was a pain, but you just open your mouth and ask for 300,000 gallant. Isn't that a bit shameless? It's not that I want to break my promise, but you do realize what happens if I pay you right. I'll have to pay a special fee. And you should know if I pay you, that special fee goes up by 90%. That means I'd need to prepare 3 million talent. Hearing this, Yeonjoo stands up slowly. I don't think you realize for this job the committee awarded me 200,000 talent. I went through hell to solve your private problem, and you gave me a blank check. If you look at it that way, you actually owe me more than the committee does. Have you forgotten about the Jang Tae-jun case? That guy should have plenty of money. So, one way or another, you're not getting out of paying me that 3 million. The Zen shifts. Yeonjoo is back at the office. Meanwhile, Jenkinson calls with an encrypted line. Yeonjoo, eyes closed, asks how things are going, as if none of it concerns him. Jenkinson is silent for a moment. Well, I use my credit as collateral, and I still can't get a loan for 3 million. Yeonjoo isn't surprised at all, and instead asks, so, what do we do now? Jenkinson explodes in frustration. I owe you 300,000 but have to pay a 2.7 million fee. It's insane. So, what are you going to do? I'd advise you to drop any crazy ideas. I don't want to hear anything I shouldn't. This is a reasonable discussion. Just hear me out. Jenkinson proceeds to share his plan with Yeonjoo. It aligns perfectly with Yeonjoo's own idea. Get compensation straight from the committee, which will require Jenkinson's cooperation on the inside. Yeonjoo is silent for a long time until Jenkinson asks, Isn't this the best way? Then he hears, All right, go make the deposit. The scene shifts. Yeonjoo is searching for something. A lot has happened recently, so my income has noticeably increased. If things keep up like this, freedom won't just be an empty word anymore. Thinking of freedom, Yeonjoo sighs. I thought you'd be the second one to gain your freedom, but I never imagined you'd leave like this. Meanwhile, several emails suddenly pop up on Yeonjoo's computer. Most of them are from fellow convicts who are on good terms with Yeonjoo and the others. The content is much the same, expressing regret over Bradley. Just then, one email makes Yeonjoo's heart skip a beat. As he's about to open it, a blood-red email suddenly appears. The sender is the committee, and the content is about random future audits of fees and expenses. In short, they're going to thoroughly investigate all financial matters related to the convicts. Reading this, Yeonjoo is shocked. What does this have to do with me? No matter how I think about it, I haven't done anything wrong, especially that fourth regulation. If I dare not cooperate, the only thing waiting for me is death. At this, Yeonjoo feels a wave of discouragement. For 500 years, nobody cared about him. Why are they suddenly showing up now? No matter how hard I rack my brain, I can't think of anything I did wrong. Could it be because of Jenkinson and Dell? They're the only two who have ever helped me. Even so, could the committee still have found out? Given all this, my only choice is to find someone for help. But I can't contact Dell now since the committee monitors all networks. Right now, all I can do is wait for him. Yeonjoo sits like a statue waiting for a call from Dell. But what makes him even more curious is what exactly are they planning? At last, the phone rings, but to his surprise, it's Blair on the line. Blair says Princess Vermy wants to talk to him since she's from another planet and Jenkinson can't interfere as he pleases. This gives him June a headache. Because of her status, he can't use other means. So how's the case going? Give me a quick summary. While she's been in custody, she's insisted on her right to remain silent. But yesterday, she suddenly said she wanted to make a statement. However, today the committee notified us the case would be transferred to their jurisdiction and she'd be extradited because so many Earth treaties are involved. That's what's put Jenkinson in a bind. No matter what, Princess Vermy will end up in the committee's hands. You know how the committee operates. They'll cover up the real results of the investigation. If we get nothing, Earth will once again be left in the dark and used as a pawn. For Earth's sake, we can only rely on you now. Yeonjoo is silent for a long time, deep in thought. All right, leave it to me. The next day, Yeonjoo is about to head out when a sudden message interrupts his plans. He goes to a corrugated metal building, calculating the quickest way to get rid of whoever's inside. When he steps through the door, he finds a man in a suit waiting for him. Long time no see. You finally made it. After all this time, you still come to Earth in human form. I'm the auditor for this inspection. Please cooperate with my investigation. They shake hands stiffly in greeting. All right, let's get to the point. Agent Yeonjoo, why has your account balance suddenly exploded? Please give me a legitimate explanation. Yeonjoo answers slowly. A lot of major incidents have happened recently, and I handled them as an Immigration Bureau agent. The compensation I received is all above board. The Korean Immigration Bureau outsourced the work to a private company. That company's boss, Jenkinson, is an old acquaintance of yours. So tell me, Agent Yeonjoo, were you ever entrusted with special duties or involved in corruption during your missions? Mr. Auditor, that's a bit much. If they trusted me with important matters, it only means they trust me. If you want more details, feel free to check the incident reports I've submitted. Very well, Mr. Yeonjoo. That's all for today's investigation. If we need to look into anything further, I'll notify you in advance. The Zinsh. The sun has long since set, and it's unclear how long the two have been talking in the metal building. Yeonjoo is already fed up with the guy inside. They always nitpick the tiniest things. In the end, I just need to get rid of my convict status. Only then can I do as I please. The next day, Yeonjoo heads to Jenkinson's company again, this time to see Princess Vermy. He stands before her cell and says, "As promised, I came alone and activated the soundproof barrier. Let's begin, Princess Vermy. Let's start with the origin of this case. Those bastards claim the committee would help liberate the Chutanian people, right? From any angle, that's a giant scam." Princess Vermy bows her head in thought, then speaks. It's not a scam. Yoon is speechless. I didn't think she'd been brainwashed this badly. To have that much influence in the committee, he'd have to be a highly respected elder or an ancient race. If it's as you say, then it definitely isn't a scam because he really is from an ancient race. Maybe he really can convince the committee. Yeonjoo is stunned. You're sure everything you said before is true? Of course, everything I said was true. When he found me, I saw him with my own eyes. The Kabith, an ancient race. Because of his status, Princess Vermy believed in his plan. Now that he knows this, Yeonjoo presses for more details. Were they the ones who robbed the warehouse? Sorry, I don't know about that. I was just transporting cargo for him like he told me. I thought if I helped with a few more shipments, we'd be free. But to think we failed on our very first try. Hearing this, Yeonjoo falls into silent contemplation. It seems Princess Vermy was only a pawn. There's no point wasting time on her anymore. The shifts. Yeonjoo hands over the results of his interrogation to Jenkinson. Jenkinson, visibly shaken, asks, "Why is Kabath involved? Why would they do this? Would someone that important really get mixed up in something like this?" Wai Min-jun, meanwhile, looks completely indifferent. "By the way, how's my compensation coming along?" Jenkinson awkwardly scratches his face. "Well, give me a little more time. I'm a bit strapped for cash right now. If it's really that hard, why not sell your body for a bit?" At that, Jenkinson explodes. "What the hell are you talking about? I'm a dignified dragon. You're overthinking. I just meant some manual labor." When Jenkinson glances at the paperwork in front of him, he breaks out in a cold sweat. "You want me to test the DNA of every goblin on Earth. As you can see, since goblins here don't have insurance or go to hospitals, most of them don't have any DNA records. We're talking global scale. Do you have any idea how many goblins there are? I know it's a pain, but what's it got to do with me? This is your problem. If you can't pay me, then you can work for me. Yoon's real motive for investigating goblin DNA is something else entirely. It ties back to the classified info from Special Mission Number 47. Rumor has it that long ago, goblins on a certain planet mixed with demon goblin blood. Their descendants were sent to different worlds, Earth included. Although the task is like searching for a needle in a haystack with a dragon's help, it should be a lot easier. Just as Yeonjoo is about to leave, Blair stops him. Blair looks nervous and asks if she can have Dell's number. She quickly explains, "When I woke up in the hospital, I found a letter and a gift beside me. On impulse, I opened the wooden box and a flurry of talismans burst out as if some kind of magic had been activated. Then a drop of strange blood stuck to my hand and the note said I'd need it someday. But no matter what I do, I can't get it off. Honestly, I'm scared. Yun tells her not to worry. I'll show you how to contact Dell. He doesn't give it much thought, assuming it's just one of Dell's pranks. He has no idea how much this drop of blood will help him in the future. Meanwhile, far away, someone is talking about Yeonjoo. Hard to believe this guy racked up 5 million gallant in crimes. It's incredible. Isn't it dangerous to have someone like that as a convict? What do you think, Dots? As a junior staffer, I don't really understand the details. I just follow orders from above. I don't know much about Convict 666, just that his severance is over 5 million and his survival tax is 2 million. And he has another identity, the founder of Black Magic. At this, the Birdman is startled. Founder of Black Magic. Is that why his severance is so high? Not entirely. Creating a new magic can be a crime, but it depends on how it's used. Either way, if he's been fined 5 million, he must have committed something truly terrible. Though I'm not sure I believe it. But if he actually saves up 5 million, are you really going to let someone that dangerous go free? Can evil really be reformed? When the labor reform law was made, it sparked the fiercest debates. That's when memory sealing technology was invented. To make the best use of it, the committee debated for a long time. Once consensus was reached, we applied it to the worst criminals. Of course, there were still dissenting voices in the committee. Some wanted to toss them into the abyss, use them as slaves, imprison their minds, and finally dispose of them. But the committee chose forced reform, seal the convict's memory, then restore their freedom through labor. If a reformed convict reoffends, the committee will use far crueler methods. But in Kobath's view, all of this is too idealistic. Yet after centuries of debate, Kobath eventually compromised. So this is the current convict system. It's just a rough set of rules. There are still lots of loopholes. Like with Convict 666, if you really let him go free, he'd cause unimaginable destruction. But with the current rules, there's no way to stop it. So here's what I want you to do. From now on, report everything Convict 666 does to me. Every move the Zen Shul and Cassie are fighting over the frying pan. Meanwhile, Jenninson's call comes in. Because he can't pay the hefty fee, he has to call and ask about the assignment Yeonjoo gave him. After learning the details, Yeonjoo agrees to meet in person and warns Park Yumpel and Cassie that when he gets back, he expects to find the frying pan sealed up. The two of them shout curses at Yeonjoo from the window. The Zen Shai-jun and Jenkinson are back in the conference room. Jenninson sighs, admitting Korea's medical field really does need improvement. But even for him, this is a thorny issue. Yeonjoo picks up on his concern and speaks. Is it because of that woman? That's right, that troublesome dragon. She controls most of Korea's finance and medical industries. So what are you saying? She can keep you from working. Jenkinson sighs, clearly frustrated. All I can do is my best. The medical sector is tightly held by Chenchin, and now that woman's noticed my actions. She's already contacted me. We had a brief chat. She's become very interested in goblins lately. Yeonjoo looks unimpressed. So what is she telling me to stay off her turf? She said they could help you investigate the goblins, but only if you do something for her. Knowing how stubborn you are, I was going to politely refuse for you, but honestly, having her involved would make things much simpler. So what do you think? Should I refuse or accept? Hearing this, Yeonjoo sinks into thought. This woman is obviously tangled up with Jenninson. In that case, I might as well meet her in person. The scene shifts. A small car heads toward Chenchin Corporation. Jenkinson fills him in on the phone call, so this is a task neither side could do alone. Jenkinson confirms, and they want us to keep things discreet. No problem. After all, we need their help too. Suddenly, Yeonjoo narrows his eyes. Did you eat meat recently? Jenkinson is startled, instinctively, thinking there's still blood from fresh meat on his lips. Don't overthink it. I just smelled blood on you. Your doctor told you to lay off the meat, didn't he? Only pure magic can help you live longer. Right now, Jenkinson wishes he could crawl into a hole. He's a dignified dragon, and yet here he is being scolded for eating meat. He coughs awkwardly, just about to retort when the driver announces they've arrived. Grateful for the distraction, Jenninson quickly tells Yeonjoo to get out of the car with him. Soon the two are sitting in the reception lounge waiting. A woman in a Chong Sam enters. Hello, it's been a long time. How have you all been? Do you remember this old lady? Dragons are known as the cruelest of races. For their own desires, they've destroyed cities, even turned on their own kin. After witnessing such horrors, the woman lost all hope in them. The wars between dragons were beyond terrifying. For profit, they razed cities to the ground. This led to a fusion of magic and souls, unleashing a tide of bitter resentment. Now that resentment is spreading nationwide. Only when things spiraled out of control did the foolish dragons finally stop fighting and put up magic barriers to maintain their territory. Many dragons died in those wars, including the woman's husband. Her purpose in coming here is to ask Jenkinson to help her leave this place. Jenkinson didn't refuse. In fact, he invited her to Korea, but she had to agree to 2 conditions. First, never overstep his political authority. Second, never form a military organization. The woman didn't mince words. She used a dragon spell to seal the pact. The Sensh, Yeonjoo, and Jenkinson are making small talk with her. The woman asks Jenkinson, "Are you still running around in that form?" Jenkinson looks puzzled. Is there something wrong with that? We're all old now. Isn't it strange for you to appear as a young man? Why are you playing at being young? Do you have Peter Pan syndrome? Jenkinson looks embarrassed. Yun nearly bursts out laughing. It's just a way to be friendly with other species. Makes communication easier. Talking with the oppressed, that's a joke. Jenkinson can only force a smile. Suddenly, Jenkinson's eyes sharpen. "Sister, you look just like a goblin now." She ignores the comment and changes the subject. "I've just been observing that race a lot lately. Most importantly, we now share a common interest. Even Agent Yeonjoo seems interested in goblins." Yun says nothing, just quietly studies her. How much does this woman really know? She snaps her fingers and 2 servants enter politely. "I think we've finished with the pleasantries. Let's talk business. You want to use your own funds to set up a medical center for the urban poor, right?" "That's right. I'll use all my medical resources for a poverty relief project, providing beds for the severely ill, offering health checks, and administering necessary vaccines." Yeonjoo is curious. "Why do you want to do this?" "It's all for society's benefit to maintain public health. Did you know goblin diseases often spread to beast folk and humans? Goblins in the welfare blind spots pose a real risk to society. It's a serious issue that needs improvement." Yeonjoo scoffs. "The reason the poor can't afford medical care is because you charge too much. Agent Yeonjoo, whether we can work together on this depends on you. I hear you're interested in goblin DNA. If we cooperate, it'll be easy to collect samples during health checks and vaccinations for the poor. If you accept my request, I'll provide you the DNA samples." Yeonjoo frowns. "So, what do you want from me?" Recently, the Changin Bank headquarters was robbed. Yeonjoo is startled. Not even a terrorist group could pull that off. The woman sighs, it's true, but the case is too difficult for the police to handle. So, it wasn't just cash that was stolen. Correct. What was stolen was talent. Physical talent. Yeonjoo is stunned. Talent. What? As far as I know, if talent isn't handled properly, it evaporates into the spirit world. Large transactions can only be done digitally, not with physical assets and only through data transfers. Are you saying the committee gave you physical talent? Of course. During the payment process, they made things very difficult for me. Maybe they wanted me to give up. 1 million talent is a huge amount. Yeonjoo is shaken. 1 million talent. Isn't it a huge hassle to hold physical talent? Why did you withdraw it? The woman's face darkens. She says nothing. The scene shifts. The 2 return to the company. Jenkinson is still mulling over their recent conversation. Given her character, there's no way she'd set up a medical center for the poor out of charity. But what is her real motive? And why does she want talent? Real physical talent? Yeonjoo ponders for a moment. Could it be she's trying to guard against the committee going bankrupt? But that explanation's too flimsy. She's definitely hiding something right now. We need to investigate this so-called poverty welfare project she's planning. We have to find out if any of it's real. Jenkinson asks how they should start investigating. The Chenchin welfare project is nationwide. So with something this big, there have to be plenty of companies or individuals involved. Why don't we start by reaching out to some of them? Jenkinson voices his concern. There are too many people involved. We can't possibly investigate them all. Yeonjoo tells him not to worry. He already has someone in mind. The richest beastman in Korea, Kim Kang-woo. According to Chenchin's plan, most of the medical facilities are being built in beastmen communities, and Kim owns the rights to that land. Jenkinson catches on to Yeonjoo's plan as the landowner Kim Kwang should know some inside details. You've already figured out what I'm getting at. Let's go pay Chairman Kim Kwang a visit. The scene shifts. Yoon calls Kathy with some questions. Kim Kang-woo's secretary says he's been gone for weeks. Yeonjoo is shocked. A workaholic suddenly goes off-road for weeks of vacation. After he hangs up, Yeonjoo organizes his thoughts. This is all way too coincidental. At that moment, Jenkinson comes up with a disturbing thought. If Kim Kwang and Chenchin are in cahoots, then Kim's disappearance is probably a murder. and there won't be any evidence left behind. Because Chang'an is a psychopath, even among the dragons, her story is infamous. There are rumors her playthings all look exactly like her dead husband. For a while, a lot of dragons went missing. But there's something even scarier. Chenchen's husband died a long time ago. Zam say she killed him herself. Hearing this, Yeonjoo falls silent. Why would she kill her own husband? The rumor is she just thought he was too old and didn't suit her tastes anymore. Maybe it's just gossip, but the disappearances that follow her are a fact. After hearing this, Yeonjoo can't help but grow suspicious of Chang'an. Come on, let's deal with the Chang'an situation first. Hearing this, Jenkinson hesitates. Are we really going to help her? If we can't find Kim Kwang-woo, it'll be even harder to get information from outside. Why don't we gather details as we work the case? If we find evidence of her crimes, you take her down. If she's clean, all I want is my DNA samples. Jenkinson is stunned for a moment. As you wish, I'll contact Chenchen right away. The Zen Xiun arrives at the base of the Chenchen Bank building. Just as Yeonjoo steps inside, a man rushes over in a panic. He introduces himself respectfully as the branch manager, pleading with Yeonjoo to handle the case. Branch manager, you'd better call your head office manager. The man starts sweating profusely. Due to unforeseen events, the head office manager resigned a few days ago. I'm acting as a replacement. From his expression, Yeonjoo knows the head office manager has already been dealt with. Let's start by checking the surveillance footage. Soon, Yeonjoo is in the monitoring room watching the recordings. When he sees the glowing orb, he looks shocked. That's real talent. It's the first time in 800 years I've seen an actual transaction. There are over 1 million crystals in there. The manager shuffles through the footage. This is the scene of the incident. Suddenly, the glowing orb vanishes from the box. Yoon immediately notices something off. What's that ripple when the talent disappears? It looks like the wave that happens when Mr. Lakefield's soul returns to the afterlife. If it vanished into the threshold, does that mean it can never be found again? The manager goes pale. You mean it's gone? Doesn't that mean there's a problem with the vault? From his reaction, Yeonjoo knows he's clueless. In that case, we'd better check out the vault in person. Yeonjoo surveys the surroundings. It looks like your security is top-notch, not just physical defenses, but layer upon layer of magical barriers. This is basically the biggest exorcism chamber on Earth. Even ghosts can't get close. Let's see. Did a thief use magic to steal the talent? Or did it disappear into the spirit world? Whatever the reason, there should be traces left behind. If there's anything strange here, lingering magical light will be visible. As Yeonjoo looks up, he finds no trace of magic at all. He leaves the building interior, intending to search the perimeter for magical residue, but it's all in vain. Even outside, there's not a single hint of magic. Yoon is deeply puzzled. How can there be no magical traces at all? Even the talent is just gone. As he's pondering, a swallow perches on a branch, watching everything. But Yeonjoo has already spotted it in the glass reflection and quietly casts a spell. In that instant, he flicks a blood droplet at the bird. With a bang, the swallow falls from the branch. Next, a belt shoots from Yeonjoo's sleeve, lashing into the settling dust. As the smoke clears, a young woman appears before him. Yeonjoo walks over. Someone who can turn into a swallow doesn't surveil for fun. So who are you really? The woman suddenly flies into a rage, hurling a barrage of abuse at him. You bastard. Vile capitalist lapdog of the dragons. Yeonjoo isn't phased in counters. You've already exposed your identity. Are you some kind of spirit? Are you with the Red Star Group? Those damned thieves? Thieves? What nonsense! We're just redistributing supplies monopolized by the dragons. What are you doing near the bank? Planning an assault? Or do you have other intentions? You scum! If everyone in this society were like you, it would never change. You help the dragons plunder wealth. Don't you know their fortune is built on exploiting the poor? You're a dragon's lackey, a weapon of worker oppression. You'll never get it. Yeonjoo just stares at her coldly. So are you here to defeat the evil dragons? What's your plan? Why don't we go somewhere quiet and talk? I don't want to hear human screams from outside. When the woman sees the blood, her eyes go vacant. She's plunged into despair. Yeonjoo tries to calm her, but her face ages rapidly and she coughs up blood. Suddenly something goes wrong. Her whole body starts to swell. Seeing this, Yeonjoo quickly backs away. With a bang, the woman explodes. Even Yeonjoo, who has seen a lot, has never witnessed something like this. Did someone plan a curse on her? Were they afraid she'd leak information? What are the Red Star people hiding? The bank security, having heard the explosion, rushes over. Yoon warns them not to come any closer. She didn't commit suicide. She died in extreme agony. That means she'll soon become a spirit. He begins to chant a spell. From afar, an unknown object speaks. A Red Star member has died. Her soul will appear soon. As Yeonjoo's spell takes effect, the woman's soul emerges. Yeonjoo must extract information from her soul, but the soul is not under his control. It speeds off into the distance. If Yeonjoo wants to read her memories, he'll need to overpower her with psychic force. As he wraps her with another spell, her memories start to play out in Yeonjoo's mind. A red-haired woman appears in the Sentient bank, seemingly the mastermind. A shadowy figure catches Yeonjoo's attention. The red-haired woman says something to the person before her. As the vision flickers, Yeonjoo realizes, how did they know the Sentient bank was going to be robbed? Not even the police knew that means Red Star is the real culprit. Without a body to restrain it, the soul breaks free of Yeonjoo's spell and vanishes. The scene shifts. Kathy is sleeping soundly only to be woken by the phone. Still groggy, she answers with clear annoyance. What is it, Mr. Yeonjoo? Red Star, do you have any info on them? After giving Kathy her instructions, Yeonjoo sighs. Even the woman's soul didn't know how the talent was found. Those Red Star people, how did they get their hands on the talent?